Where am I? Who are you?
I'm Diana Hewitt.
I don't know you. What is this place?
St. James's Hospital. I'm Diana...
Hospital? Why am I in hospital? What's wrong with me?
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you.
I don't know.
Oh, this is intolerable. Dr. Gibson, what is this person in this bed in here for? He doesn't appear on any of my waiting lists.
No, he wouldn't.
And there's apparently nothing wrong with him.
He's been admitted for respite.
Respite? What do you mean, respite?
Mr. Lester?
Where am I? Who are you?
I'm Diana Hewitt. I'm the unit...
I don't know you. What is this place?
St. James's Hospital. I just told you.
Hospital? Why am I in hospital? What's wrong with me?
You had an accident a year ago, Mr. Lester. It's affected your short-term memory.
Did it?
This is your memory book. You use it to record and recall facts that help you with everyday life.
Someone's been writing things in it.
That's you.
Oh.
Now, if you could just jot down that you're in St. James's Hospital for a few days. You can imagine what this is like for his wife, so we admit him occasionally to give her a break. It's called respite.
You mean we're not actually treating him?
We can't treat him, Diana. There's nothing we can do.
Well, then we can't afford to keep him in hospital.
I'm afraid you'll have to tell him that.
Mr. Lester.
Where am I? What's happening?
I'm afraid we can't possibly keep you in hospital.
Hospital? Why am I in hospital?
You're having trouble with your memory.
Memory?
Yes, remember?
Remember what?
Wait. Why don't you look in your book?
What book?
Your memory book.
I don't remember that. What is it?
That should keep her occupied for a while.
You can relax now, Mr. Gill.
Oh, no. I was hoping I could play some basketball.
We'll be back in a while.
What do you think?
Well, I think he's in pretty good condition, considering. If his kidneys were a car, there'd be a 1959 Cortina.
There's no such thing as a 1959 Cortina, Kate.
That's what I meant.
Is that really what you meant?
Oh, shut up. His kidneys are worn out, okay? Like some old car. I don't know what. I mean, do I look like Jeremy Clarkson?
Well, maybe if you had a perm.
The point is, he's got no kidneys worth talking about. We can maintain his condition on dialysis. What's your point?
Well, how would you like it if you were wired up to some mechanical apparatus to keep you going?
Oh, God, I wish.
I mean, what quality of life do you think he has?
We don't do quality of life, we do life. If you want to do quality of life, Michael, become a redcoat. He's down for a transplant.
He's been waiting for 4 years.
We can't just get kidneys. You know the price some organs are reaching on the internal health market.
Well, you do realise that our glorious leader will one day find out that he won't actually die if we put him on the machine less often. What quality of life do you think he'll have then?
She wouldn't do that.
You think so?
No, not even she would be that petty.
You jab this into your thumb and then you wipe it on this card. I'm afraid pathology's closed on Thursdays.
How long's this been going on?
Oh, you think this is bad? From Monday, they're closing gynecology, and I'm not explaining what to do to anybody.
It's never been as bad as this before.
There's a rumour that last week the electricity company nearly cut us off.
What do they make us do? Go on a meter?
What are you looking at?
Nothing.
Well, I seem to have finally explained to that man that he has to leave. I found his wife's phone number in that book he has and had the phone wheeled over to him.
Good, well, I'm due at my clinic.
Well, if you could just give me a moment of your time, and you too, please, Dr. Jimson.
We really are rather busy, Diana.
No, this won't take long. I see that we have in bed for a Mr. Gill, and he's on one of his regular visits to our kidney machine. Well, I mean, is this absolutely necessary? What's wrong with him?
His kidneys don't work properly.
My electric iron doesn't work properly. I don't come in here 4 times a week to use the hospital.
That's what a kidney machine is for.
Well, obviously. But we have to switch it on every other day for him. It's extremely uneconomical.
The thing is, Diana, he needs to go on the machine to purify his blood.
Well, I understand that. And I put this to our financial advisors, and they came up with a solution that none of the medical staff have even conceived.
I can imagine.
They suggest that if we give him 20% more blood, he'll only have to purify it 3 times a week.
Doesn't really work quite like that, Diana. There isn't room in the body for any more blood.
Well, what if he puts on weight?
It doesn't make any difference.
So you see, we have no alternative.
Well, now, will he actually die if we cut it down to 3 times a week? So he would actually survive on less treatments.
Well, it would greatly affect the quality of his life.
But he would still live.
Yes.
Well, in that case, I'm going to order a reduction in the number of visits to our machine. If you'll excuse me for a moment.
We can't go on like this. That guy's life is going to be a living hell. The whole system's breaking down.
What do you suggest we do? Hand in our white coats and open a sweet shop?
Maybe I should go back to general practice or leave the country and make a pile.
Oh, come on, Michael. That's not like you. This place is in your blood.
Oh, I don't know, Kate. I'm just tired of all this.
Great news! A&E have just received a heart attack patient that was dead on arrival.
Really?
It's brilliant, isn't it?
Can that restore cardiovascular functions?
No problem. The heart's still beating, but the brain is completely gone. And he's a perfect tissue match for bed 4.
Kate, he's your patient.
Yes, well, by all means, transport.
Get back down there and grab him from
I've got
somebody else
Paul
first.
forgotten.
What's going on?
In a minute, Diana.
What's going on?
Bleep Rex.
Nearly forgot. Here's his wallet.
Wallet?
Gotta hurry.
Why?
Visa, Eurocard, Amex. Come on, hell!
What are you doing?
You want to get that guy off the machine, don't you? We need a donor card.
Let me look.
Find out if A&E have traced the next of kin.
Miss Stewarts, could you come to the ward straight away?
Now!
There had better be a good reason for aborting the Telegraph crossword this early in the day.
Cheer up, Rex. Kidneys for breakfast. What? Possible transplant donor in A&E.
Message from Kate, theatre team 3 booked.
Excellent. Nothing like a fresh organ first thing in the morning. Makes you glad to be alive.
Also, his wife's on her way. She hasn't been asked yet.
I'll go and talk to her.
Rex! Her husband's just died and we need to get her consent for transplant. I don't think she's going to respond to, I'm going to slice up his kidneys and have them with a nice Chianti.
What's going on?
I tried to stop them, but...
What are you doing?
Miss Diana Hewitt,
Yes.
the unit manager of this medical team.
Yes?
I have authority to remove from these premises goods up to the total on here in respect of unpaid bills for medical supplies.
Well, that's impossible.
Thank you for waiting late.
Just a moment. Would you like to step over here momentarily?
Take a break then, let's.
Yes, I'm sure this can all be sorted out in a moment. My porter will show you to my office. I'll be up in just a minute. Thank you. Shouldn't you be getting ready to leave?
I'm in St. James Hospital for a few days.
No. If you remember, you're going home again.
Home.
Yes, you said you'd call Mrs. Lester.
Mrs. Lester. Who's Mrs. Lester?
Your wife. She's coming to collect you.
I'm in St. James Hospital for a few days.
Now listen carefully. You were going to be in hospital, and now you're going home again.
Where am I? Who are you?
Don't you know? I'm Shirley Temple. And this is the good ship Lollipop.
There's no way of asking this, make it sound better, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you something which you may find distressing.
What?
Your husband wasn't carrying a donor card. Now, I'd do anything to delay asking this until a better moment, but in the case of donor organs, I'm afraid we don't have much time.
You're absolutely sure that he's...
Completely.
Well, I mean, we never talked about anything like this. I don't know what he thinks, what he would have thought. You just don't consider things like this, do you? He won't... he can't...
Feel any pain? No. I'm afraid we can't bring back your husband, but he could help someone else lead a full life.
I know.
Don't rush yourself. This is a big decision. You take all the time you need.
I don't need any longer.
You're sure?
No, you can have anything at all from Roy's body. Anything the hospital can make use of. You would have wanted it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Do I have to sign anything?
One of the nurses will be along to explain everything.
Right. I see. Thank you. And thank you. I know this can't have been easy for you.
Please, don't worry about that.
I just wanted to say I'm very grateful that you've both been so sensitive about the whole thing.
It's on!
No. Get Bedford to theatre as quickly as possible.
1 mil IM, Almond Scott.
Mollyman.
Well, that's that.
What's the matter, Diana? You look like you've seen the ghost of the health service.
I'm afraid there's been a development.
What?
Don't you have some work to do?
Yes, this.
Some different work? There's been a serious computer malfunction. It seems the system crashed some weeks ago, and we lost several large debits from our account. There's just enough in reserves to pay outstanding debts, but we have no operating funds for the rest of this quarter. I'm afraid I'm going to have to completely shut down General and Surgical B until the end of April.
Well, can't we just ask the accountants for more money?
I am the accountant. We have no money.
The Board of Management,
Don't
then?
you understand, Kate? That's it.
Well, there must be something we can do.
I'm going to issue suspension notices at the end of the day. After 6 o'clock tonight, this unit will cease to exist.
You know, you almost had me fooled there.
When?
I know you. You're not going to stand by while Diana closes down the whole unit around us.
What do you think I'm going to do, Kate?
Well, I don't know.
This is real life, not Sergeant Bilko. It's all over. 6 o'clock tonight, I'm out of here.
Out of here? You? Michael Jimson? The man who said he'd rather invite Charles and Diana to a wife-swapping party than stand by and see the health service run down to nothing?
Leave it, Kate.
Michael? What about us? There you are.
I don't know you. What is this place?
You're in hospital. See? But your wife's coming to pick you up soon.
My wife?
You phoned her. Her partner answered and said he'd get a message to her where she was working. You wrote down everything he said.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Here's the consent forms, Dr. Jimson, all signed by Mrs. Wisdom.
Thank you.
Hello? Get me Diana's office.
Why do they make these things so difficult to get on?
And no wonder your sex life is so nerve-wracking.
Give me a break, Rex. This is the first time I've assisted at an organ transplant.
Well, it's nothing to get excited about. It's just like changing a battery in a dolly, only with lots and lots of blood.
Has the organ been... I mean, do we have to remove it ourselves?
Well, of course we have to remove it ourselves. Do you think they bring it to us on a polystyrene tray covered in cling film, like Tesco's?
That means we have to operate on the donor.
Well, he won't mind. He's dead. No one is to enter here unless they've been sterilized. Pass me the scalpel. I'll do it for you.
I had to catch you before you started.
Don't tell me the scatterbrain bimbo has changed her mind.
No, I've got the form here. We can take anything we need.
Then what do you want?
Phil, I can't say this in front of you.
Why? Go through into the theatre and make sure everything's ready to start the moment I come in.
All right.
Now, what is this sensitive piece of information?
We're going to have to close down unless we can find some funds.
Have you been reading The Guardian again?
I've just come from Diana's office. She's closing down the unit.
Closing down the unit?
There's only one thing we can do. Sell something.
What do you propose?
This piece of paper gives us permission to take anything we need from the donor.
Is he wearing a diamond tiara, then?
Better than that. He's wearing organs. Valuable organs that we can trade for services and supplies with other hospitals.
Are you suggesting that I remove every body part from a donor to hawk about the health service like some kind of surgical Arthur Daly?
No, I trust Arthur Daly.
Is this a serious suggestion? What about transportation?
Diana's got a fleet of air ambulances and donor units standing by to take the parts wherever we want in the country.
You mean she's sold them already?
Free enterprise, Rex. You're all for it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right, honestly.
You said I could sit here for a while.
No, please, sit down. I just have to gather together some personal things.
Thanks. I still feel a bit wobbly.
Shall I get someone to fetch some tea?
No, thanks. I just need to calm down.
Coffee? No, that's a stupid thing to say. That'll make you more tense. I usually have herbal tea. It's much better. Much better for the heart, too. Not the heart, I mean the kidneys, liver. Much better for the liver. Would you like some?
Some liver?
Herbal tea. Listen to me. Here I am, burbling on. You'd probably rather I left you quietly on your own, wouldn't you?
No, I think I'm all right now.
Good. Well, I'll leave you on your own then.
You don't have to.
I think it's better.
I'd rather you didn't.
Oh.
I just keep thinking, I wish I'd seen him one last time. They did ask as soon as I got here, but I wasn't ready for that. And now I realise I never really said goodbye.
Well, perhaps it's for the best.
Of course, I could go and see him after, but I feel that somehow there'd be less of him. The essential part missing, like an empty shell.
Yes.
Oh, it's funny, isn't it? You get used to someone being around. Oh, they might drive you mad sometimes. They might not always be what you want them to be, but they're there.
Yes.
And it's not until they're gone you realise what they meant to you.
No.
And you know the strange thing?
What?
You never quite believe they're really gone. Not completely. I still think in a moment Roy's going to knock on that door, come in and say, "Here you are, Kath. I've been looking for you. What's all this about?"
Oh, here you are, Kath. I've been looking for you. What's all this about?
What's going on?
This is Roy, my husband. I called the shop and you hadn't arrived this morning.
I had to walk all the way there. Just as I arrived at the station, I realised that some joker had stolen my wallet.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh, my God.
Hang on, don't crush me to death. Oh.
Kate! Oh. I'm sorry. Kate, that matter we were worried about earlier, don't worry, it's all sorted out.
Michael?
Yes, I came up with a solution to the whole thing.
This is Mr. Wisdom.
Hello. Yes, that situation that we were worried about earlier, don't worry about it.
Mrs. Wisdom's husband.
Yes, it's completely and utterly... Mrs. Wisdom's husband?
Yes,
So the man in the theatre isn't...
exactly.
Huh? Could you come with me?
Why?
We'll just come outside for a moment. Would you excuse us?
you did
Lester.
Where am I?
Who are you? Yes, I've had all I can take today. Write this down.
What's this?
Write this down. I am Diana Ewitz, the unit manager for this medical team. I am responsible for everyone admitted for treatment here.
Diana.
Yes?
Excuse me. The man you were expecting has arrived.
Ma'am?
In the blue uniform.
Do I write that down?
Oh, stay here forever for all I care.
Mr. Lester, if you just turn back a page, you'll see what's happening.
This way, please, officer. This is Mr. Regis, Dr. Brooke, Dr. Russell, and Dr. Jimson.
Hello. I just need a few details. The unidentified body. When was he admitted?
Well, I wasn't present when he was admitted. This really falls under Dr. Russell.
Well, I was alerted to the admission by Dr. Jimson.
Thank you, Dr. Russell.
Not at all.
He was picked up by the ambulance in the street, close to the station, admitted 9:24 a.m., dead on arrival at A&E, myocardial infarction.
Right.
I just need a brief description of the deceased.
Medium height, dark hair.
I thought you weren't present at admission, sir.
No, I wasn't.
Dr. Jimson, could you describe him? I never saw him. Well, perhaps I'd better take a look at him myself.
I saw him.
When he was admitted?
Yes.
So, what was he?
He was, a man.
Yes.
Medium height, dark hair.
Well built?
He was, yeah.
How do you mean, he was?
He was, but I have a feeling that he'd lost a lot of weight recently.
Eyes?
Yes, definitely. He had eyes when he was admitted.
What colour?
Green.
Green.
Any unusual features? Scars? It's difficult to tell in the rush of things, isn't it, Dr. Brooke?
Very.
Right. I'll get this down to the station for circulation. Probably won't be too long before somebody comes looking for him. Have to send them down here. Sad, isn't it?
Yes, it is sad. Thank you very much.
And thank you all for your time.
Yes.
Oh, God. I never could stand up to interrogation. It was the same when I was at school. Father O'Toole could get me to confess to anything. He even got me to admit once that one of the older boys got me pregnant.
All this is quite unjustified panic. What does it matter where the bits of someone are when they're dead?
Well, it matters a great deal to the relatives, Mr. Regis. When they ask to view the deceased, we can't hand them an ordnance survey map and a set of references.
They'll never even notice.
Well, of course they would notice.
Can't we get the organs back?
Those parts are sewn into recipients all over the country by now. Are you going to go up to a testicular patient in Scotland and say, hello, I'm from down south. Please, can we have our ball back?
Sorry.
I think Mr. Regis may be right. We may be overreacting.
You realise this does mean the end to our unit?
Well, why? We still have all the funds we raised.
Well, how long do you think that will last when the lawyers get here?
Lawyers? What lawyers?
We've just cut up a member of the public without permission. They'll be round here quicker than a Harrods hamper to a Tory MP.
Don't be alarmist.
Hello. Sorry it took so long. I only just heard.
I'm Mrs. Lester. You wanted me to collect my husband?
Oh, sorry about all this. There was some kind of panic at my chambers and no one came to get me until 20 minutes ago. It's been a bit of a rush. Oh, that's all right. Yes.
I'm sorry. Have I barged into a meeting?
Oh, no, not at all. I'll get someone to show you to the ward.
No, I'm sure I can find it.
Just a second. As you're here,
Michael, what are you saying?
may as well find out what our chances are.
I don't see why not.
Why not what?
Diana?
Mrs. Lester, you've come at a rather opportune moment.
Why's that?
Well, we were just discussing a hypothetical problem.
Yes, it's a hypothetical problem. It's part of a training course. There's been some disagreement about our possible legal position, and I wonder if you could give us your opinion.
Well, I usually charge. But this is my local hospital. Carry on.
Well, the situation is this. Patient A is delivered to the hospital dead on arrival. We obtain permission from the family of patient A to remove his organs for transplant.
Go on.
Time is short, so we do the operation. We then discover there has been an error identifying the body, and it is, in fact, patient B. The question is this. Do patient B's family have a case against us?
In theory, yes.
Oh, my God.
But what interests me is what made you think patient B was patient A in the first place?
From his wallet.
How did patient B get patient A's wallet?
Oh, he stole it.
What?
So, this isn't, in fact, a hypothetical case at all.
No. It happened this morning.
Well, it doesn't change my opinion. No one's going to bring a court case against their dear departed that reveals them to be a pickpocket. And I wouldn't give them much for their chances if they did.
So everything's all right?
Yes, I'm sure it'll all work itself out. Don't give it another moment's thought.
Thank you very much.
Not at all. Warder, this way.
Yes.
Is it?
Well, that appears to be that. If anyone needs me, I'm in my office.
Shall I walk with you?
Oh, if you must.
I thought we really had it that time.
I told you, Phil, the worst thing we can do in our business is panic.
Oh, my God. I'm coming!
Michael? Do you mind if I ask you something?
Ask me no questions, I'll tell you no lies.
Does that mean if I ask you a question, you'll lie?
Yes.
So, in other words, no?
Yes.
Hang on. Is that a lie too?
No.
So you won't lie if I ask you something really important?
No.
Did you do what you did today for the hospital? Or for us?
Yes.
How are you feeling, Mr. Gill?
Oh, not so bad. I see she finally came to get him then.
Yes, finally.
I thought after he rang her up this morning there might be a bit of a wait.
Why?
Well, from what I can gather, there was a bit of a lather on down at her chambers. They'd sent the clerk off to hand in a wallet someone had found, and for some reason, he never came back.
What?
It's all written down in his book.
Give me that. There you are. Come on, dear. We'll have a good look through it when we get home.